fucking dick! Ow! Oh!
What the fuck was that? God. Alright, let's start this one off all cool. Alright, what's going on guys? Welcome back to another video. We're doing a tutorial today on the tray flip, as you guys can probably already tell by the title. I'm sorry that all the videos recently have all been pretty tutorial really. All been pretty trick tip related, teaching you guys how to skate. The reason behind that is just these videos are the easiest for me to make, and also I enjoy them probably the most. I love these videos where I help you guys out with skating, and I love seeing the response I get on them. You guys saying it was helpful. It really warms my heart a little bit. Also, all the bigger video ideas I have right now are all pretty crazy and they're all quite hard to do. So whilst I'm trying to figure out how to do all those bigger video ideas, these tutorials are a good in-between for all them. So in previous tutorials, I've showed you guys how to do a kickflip, I've showed you how to do an ollie. I do have a really old video on how to do a pop shove it, but I don't know if it's any good. So if you guys can't already do that, I suggest go watching a video on how to do a pop shove it, and then as long as you've got that, a kickflip and an ollie, you should be fine to do the tray flip. Some other tricks can help, like I feel like if you can do a no comply 180, could help you a little bit because you've got a lot more control with your back foot. I've never heard anyone talk about this in a tray flip tutorial, but for some reason, I feel like it could help. So if you guys can do them, I think it's gonna be a little bit helpful. You do give it like a little kick with your front foot when you do the tray flip, but I would say most of the trick is all in that back foot, that back scoop. I like saying that word, scoop. But another trick that could help you guys learn the tray flip is a varial flip. It's kind of like a tray flip, but with half of a shove less. My varial flips suck. I probably land like 1 out of 6 and they're never fun to do. So if you can't do a varial flip, don't stress out about it. Tray flips, some people find them way easier. Let's see if I got one first try. I've not done one today yet. I know I didn't, but that sounded so much like I snapped my board. We seem to be good. Oh no, I do have a little crack here. I feel like I just cracked my board doing that. And another crack here. I feel like that wasn't there before. Second try. Right now, at the time I'm filming this, it is 6 AM in the morning. And you might be thinking I just looked at my bare wrist, but no. It's a camouflage watch. It's a pink Victorian watch. You guys can't see it, but I can see it. So I'm gonna break up this tutorial into 3 different steps. Because the tray flip, there's not really much to it. It's just kind of flip it and then land it. Step 1 is gonna be how to flip the board and kind of do the tray flip rotation. Step 2 is gonna be how to land it. And then step 3 is gonna be some general tips on the tray flip. Stuff that can make it easier for you guys to learn them or get them better. And also just some random things that I've learned along the years of myself doing tray flips. Alright, I'm gonna take off my shoes for this because that's a lot easier for me to explain. Just pretend my legs are on the ends of these shoes. I did not know I snapped my lace. That is inconvenient. So when I do my tray flips, I usually have my front foot just in about the same position as the kick flip, just kind of at the bolts, hanging off the board a little bit, ready to flick out. And then my back foot, instead of being in about the middle of the tail like an ollie, I have it off to the side, kind of in the pocket on the tail. And then what I do when I'm in this position on my board is I try to create a lot of pressure on both points of the board. So because I put a lot of pressure on the corner of the tail, my board's wanting to go this way, but then also because there's a lot of pressure in the kick flip point, the board's also going to want to flip. So already, without doing any sort of shove or kick flip, my board's already wanting to kind of flip about. Hopefully that makes sense. So whilst you're rolling on your board, you're going to have a lot of pressure on these 2 points of your board. And then when you're popping for the tray flip, you don't just want to pop, you also want to scoot back a little bit with your foot. You don't need to focus too much on shoving it back really hard, you just want to focus on popping it really hard. Because your board's already all pressurized like that and already kind of ready to flip, it doesn't need to shove it too much. As long as you pop the board super hard, you don't need to do much of a shove it, just like a little bit. And then same goes for your front foot. It's not too much of a kick flip, it's just like a little bit of a nudge just to flip the board a little bit because it's already going to do that flip anyway. So you want to experiment with those things I just talked about. Put a lot of pressure on your board, try to scoop it a little bit and flick it a little bit. It might not look like that in the beginning, it might look something way more lesser of a tray flip. Maybe something like that. And then try to get to a point where you can consistently get the tray flip round almost every time and it doesn't go too far away from you. In the beginning, it just takes a lot of trying to figure it out and get the feeling of doing a tray flip before you start trying to land on it. So in the beginning, there's going to be a lot of bad attempts, so don't get discouraged if you're not getting it straight away, because it is a hard trick to figure out. One of the tricks I think about when I do a tray flip is I try push my board kind of in front of me. So I'm not just trying to scoop the tail back this way, I'm also trying to push it forward like that. I try kick the board forward so it scoops a little bit more vertical and it flips a little bit faster. It just makes my overall tray flip way more consistent because it's easier to do. So try build a little bit more control with your tray flip and try catch it and land on it with one foot. How long you stay on this stage is completely up to you guys. However long it takes you to feel comfortable, where you can just fully commit to it and try land on it with 2 feet. And guys, that's the last step of the tutorial, so all there is to do now is land on it with 2 feet and then get the tray flip. God, I always do these talking bits and I usually get a good one first try, but this time I just didn't. And guys, that's the last step of this tutorial, so all there is to do now is land your tray flip. So guys, that's all there is to this tutorial, is land your tray flip with 2 feet. Ah! Well, that's just embarrassing, isn't it? Honestly guys, even once you get a tray flip, getting a consistent tray flip is a completely whole other thing. God. If you guys are struggling with your tray flips, don't beat yourself up about it. It's a weird trick. Some people can do them easy, some people find them really difficult. For me, they were definitely a trick that I found really hard to do on the flat ground, but I could do them kind of easy out of stuff like kickers or on banks or on hips. It was only till like maybe a couple of months ago where I started to get way more consistent at doing them on the flat ground. Still not really consistent, but definitely better than I used to be. So one of the things I would recommend if you guys are struggling to get them on the flat ground, when you do a trick out of a bank, sometimes you get a little bit extra pop and you can get a little bit extra height with it. And especially with a trick like a tray flip, it flips a lot, it spins a lot. It's going to be kind of scary when you're first learning it. So doing it on something where you can get a little bit higher and maybe do the trick a little bit slower, you can find it a little bit less scary. And at least for me, it definitely made my first one a lot easier. And the cool thing about tray flip, there's a lot of different ways to style them. You can land at 2 feet. Some people like to do them with that old stanky leg, having their back leg all hanging about and then they catch it with their front foot. I wish I could do it that way, but I still can't really do it that cool. So I always usually try land on it with 2 feet and kind of stomp it down because it feels really cool. You watch the board spin a lot and do that flip and then you can just pa! Like stomp it down really hard. Another little piece of advice, whenever I do my tray flips, I always try to keep my feet really close to my board. When you're first doing them, you might be really kicking your legs out all the way off to the side, which makes it harder to bring your legs back in to actually land on the tray flip. So you want to try and move your legs as little as possible, or at least bring them back in really fast to land it. And I know this because in the beginning I would always try to whip out my tray flips so hard. I had to scoop the board so hard and actually do like a proper kick flip to just get the tray flip round. And I would be kicking my legs all the way out to the side and it would take so much effort every single time I wanted to do a tray flip. But then once I figured out that pressurized board mechanism, once I figured out that right technique of putting all that pressure on my board and scooping it forward in that way I do, it became a lot easier and I didn't need to kick out my legs too much. I also try to keep my board as close as I can to the grip tape, so as soon as I see it kind of clear all the way around, I can just plant my feet down and land as soon as I can. So I hope you guys liked this video. If you did or found it helpful, hit the like button. Let me know of some other tricks like a tray flip or some other skate tricks that you want me to make a tutorial on. I'm speaking kind of like a robot because it's so early. Subscribe if you're not already. I'm making videos like this all the time. Skate tutorials and also just a bunch of other skate related videos. I should have a video out on these shoes soon. I think I'm gonna do like an Adidas versus Vans video because my Nike versus Vans videos seem to do really well. Not just because of that reason, a lot of people also seem to like that video as well. That's the reason I want to do it, but also just because I know it's gonna help this channel grow, and that's the main thing I want to do. I want to push skateboarding out to more people and teach more people how to skate, inspire people how to skate, and just have fun and make videos that I want to make. But anyway guys, thank you so much for taking the time of day to watch this video. I really hope it helped. Let me know if it did. Send me a video of you doing it over on Instagram. My Instagram is on the screen right now. You guys can follow me if you want to do that. Send me a DM of you guys landing a tray flip for the very first time, or show me your progression on it. If you're stuck on anything, I can try help you guys out a little bit. And guys, I kind of want to wrap up the video by trying to land a tray flip with only one leg. I've never done this before. It's probably a bad idea, but I kind of want to do it. I'll see you guys in the next video. I mean, that counts, right?
Oh, fucking dick! Ow! Oh! Ah! Oh, that is so bad.